in this video. So when you're ready to start lesson 26, when you get to correspondence 26-3, that is the first document you will be creating using Word that is worth 10 points for the course. So you will begin by clicking on the Start Work button and clicking Open. And this opens a blank file for you. And be sure to hit that Enable Editing button. And notice that the file name that GDP has given this file is this long string. So to begin with, I'm going to suggest that you always rename the file by using File, Save As. Save it to the location either on your computer or on a jump drive. And use the file name 26-3, and of course that corresponds to the name of the assignment, both on your assignment sheet and in Canvas. So by using 26-3, you eliminate all that other information that GDP puts in the file for you. So now you have a simple file name up on top on the title bar. And now we're ready to type the letter that you are being asked to type, and it's on page 90 in the textbook. And the document is called Correspondence 26-3. Well, this is a business letter in block style. At the beginning of your both textbook and Word manual, you have a reference manual that you can open and use as a helpful document so you remember how to format a business letter in block style. That same reference manual is available to us here online through the software. So I'm going to be using this to show you what this letter should be looking like. The way to find it, it's under correspondence, and it's a block style letter, and it's a business letter in block style. And that is how I opened this. So notice at the beginning of the document, there is a down arrow with 5x. This means that you need to press enter 5 times before you begin. So we'll press the enter key 5 times. And you can't tell that you pressed enter, so I'm going to suggest that you always turn on this show hide, which I hope you learned about in lessons 21 through 25. This shows all non-printable characters in your document. So these are called paragraph marks. So every time you press the enter key, one of these will be inserted into your document. We pressed enter 5 times, and then we type the date. So as it shows on page 90 in your textbook, we're going to type the date, and you will go ahead and type 2017 or the year instead of leaving a dash like it shows in the book. So back to the reference manual, then it shows that we press enter 4 times. So after the date, when we press enter 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to type the inside address on that 4th line. So notice that it's leaving 3 blank lines and we're typing on the 4th. Rather than type this letter for you, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the letter that I've already typed and show you that we follow along the instructions using that format. So after the inside address, we press enter 2 times, leaving 1 blank line. After the salutation, we press enter 2 times, leaving 1 blank line, etc. Notice that everything is lined up on the left margin. This indented paragraph you will learn about in a future lesson. But all of the paragraphs will be lined up on the left margin, which is what makes this a block style document. So going back to the letter that I've already created for you, notice that everything is lined up on the left. When we get down to sincerely, again, we press enter 4 times, leaving 3 blank lines. And then at the end of the document, and I'm going to turn on show hide so you can see those 3 blank lines. At the end of the document, the book indicates on page 91 in red, they have the letters URS. And what they're asking you to do is type your reference initials. And those reference initials are your initials. So in this case, my first and last initials are TE, all in lowercase. So 1 blank line above, and then type your initials in lowercase. And they are your initials as they appear, as you are registered in GDP. So if you've used a different name to register in GDP, be sure that you're using the first and last initials as GDP knows you. All right, so my letter has been typed. I'm going to save it. And notice I'm using a different file name for this one, and this is the one I'm going to submit to GDP for scoring. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to close this file. I'm also going to close the other one that I started. And no, I'm not going to save that one. And now I need to go back to lessons. And I'm back at correspondence 26-3. So I've typed my file. So now I'm going to browse to the location where my files are located. And again, I'm using the one that I have called the demo for this semester. I'm going to open it. And then I hit the Submit Work button. And it tells me I have 4 errors. So let's scroll down and determine what is wrong with my document. First of all, I have Ms., and it's saying it's a misstroke. In other words, it's mistyped. Well, I did not press the period after the Ms., so that's one error that I received. And scrolling down, I have 2, 3, 4 errors here. And these are indicating that I have an omission here. So I needed to press the enter key. These are the symbols, remember, for pressing enter, paragraph marks. And they were omitted. So I need to put 2 enters in. In other words, I need to start a new paragraph after the word further. And I also have an error for the word further because I pressed space after the period. Because I'm beginning a new paragraph, it will not need a space. So let's go back and look at the document and determine what I did wrong. So I need to close this window, click on Edit Work. I will open that file again, enable editing, and you remember one of the errors was the period after Ms. And the other error is right here. And the reason I left that in there is this is a very common error that students make. In the textbook, on page 90, at the bottom of page 90, the book doesn't indicate for you that you are to press the enter key after the word further and start a new paragraph. So many students do not know that they're supposed to start a new paragraph, and they leave that out. So if you have done that, all you need to do is put your insertion point after the period, after further, press enter 2 times, and then get rid of that space, and that's what that dot is, that is in front of the word I. So now I should have a perfect document. Be sure to click Save As and Browse, because as you can see, GDP tries to always save to the Documents folder, and I am saving to my jump drive. So I can use the same file name, but I need to make sure I'm saving it in the same location. Yes, I'm going to replace the existing file. I don't want to have multiple copies of this file. So now I have saved my changes. I need to go back and now browse again and resubmit with the changes that I have made. And now I can submit. And I still have 4 errors, so apparently I didn't save that right. It's the same exact problem. I'm going to browse again. Now I have 0 errors. That was really strange. I don't know why that happened. We now have 0 errors. The further I have a new inserted a paragraph mark there. We press enter 2 times to leave that blank line between paragraphs. And then the Ms. Laura is okay. So now this document has 0 errors. So it means that I can submit to Canvas. This is one of the files that you will need to put into Canvas. So when you go back to the course schedule, notice that 26-3 is one of the documents that is in bold and has asterisks after it. That means there is a Canvas Dropbox for this assignment, and you need to put it in the Dropbox. So we will go down to that module where 26-3 Dropbox is located. Click on that and submit the assignment. So I need to click on Submit. I will choose the file, again, going to the location where I have saved my document, and I will then hit the Submit Assignment button. And do you see how it says turned in? And this is the document that I have submitted, and I can actually click on it and open it if I want to preview it. So now I'd like to point out to you, when you are on the course schedule, that you don't need to do all of the assignments in each lesson. So you are asked to do 26-3, and then the next document you are asked to do is 26-5. Well, there is a 26-4 in the textbook, and you may skip it. So when you are in GDP, we've finished 26-3. The next thing that we would see is 26-4. You do not need to do this one. So you may skip it and go on and start 26-5, which is located on page 91 in your textbook. Okay, again, I'd like you to look at those notes that are on Canvas as you're working through this set of lessons, and please be sure to send me questions through email as they arise. Take care.